2018. Today I'm going to discuss digging and cleanup. I apologized earlier in my garden video, a couple of them actually, because I didn't have any footage of me actually digging and tilling the garden as I was doing it, and the reason for that was because I was updating my computers from Windows 7 to Windows 8, and like this one, it's an older computer, so I still had to update them, and in the process I ended up wiping my external hard drive that had all my raw video and everything that I had, which I did have video of me doing actual gardening, digging, and doing everything. It got completely erased. So I said that I did have video of some of the things I did this year, and I wanted to show you some video of some of the things I have been doing. And like I've been saying, the reason why I started doing all this was because I wanted to try to revitalize my yard. When we moved in, the people that lived here, they were dumping stuff in the backyard. I guess they were in roofing, and they were taking their shingles and stuff and just dumping them in the backyard on the ground. Had just tons and tons of stuff laying there. Had cinder blocks, had clay blocks, stuff like that. So we ended up having to actually go through and clean that whole thing up. There was glass and nails on the ground, everything. It was unsafe for any of the kids to come in and play in. So this is the video that I've got, and that's an old tree that is in the backyard that I wanted to take shots of. And that's some of the mess that we still have around with some of my work there. I've been digging through there. I want to turn this area into like a potato patch, and maybe put some, artichokes and asparagus or whatever in there. I want to make this a part of it. That's the pile that I was able to pull out of that hole right there. I've got a little squared off area there now where I've actually started my first small potato patch. I used that trench or gutter from a house gutter. I cut it up into small pieces, and I'm going to do a little experiment that I want to do with growing potato buds. And I'll show you that here in a minute. It should show. But that was the pile that I pulled up, and I pulled a lot of them up too. Over on the side where the concrete slab is, that's a lot of the stuff that I had to sit there because I didn't have any space to put it anywhere else. I'm in the process now. I keep getting that all cleared off, and little table and stuff like that. And I came through and I took pictures of it over and over again as I went. I think I've got video here too of when I finally got all the mess cleaned up. I think I took four to six coffee cans to fill just to get that up off there. There could have been more, actually. Yeah, this is it. You'll see the little potato bed I started, and here it is. I found nails, I found glass, there was shingles. I even have shots of the petrified, I think it's chicken bones. I hope it's chicken bones, but they're petrified little chicken bones that were in the ground. I'm guessing that back in the day it was legal for people to take the trash out of the backyard and bury it. I'm thinking that's what it was. It was their trash hole. They were burying their trash out there. This right here is the beginning of another potato patch. Grow potatoes in there. And this is what I found here. This is that right there. It looks like a little doorbell or something. I'm not quite sure. And that right there, all that's caked in there. It won't come out. It's just solid. I found a 9-inch nail. I found quite a few 9-inch nails back there. And here's the petrified chicken cones. All the time I was doing that, I was thinking, man, it'd really suck if I found some dead body or something laying back here, you know. There, get that one. Somebody bury a dead baby or something. That bone looks pretty suspicious. I started clearing this out. Eventually I want all this to be nothing but garden. That's back directly behind the shed that we have right next to the compost pile. On the other side is my, it's a slab of concrete. I'm going to turn this into a growing bed too. I'm going to rake it out, dig that up, put wood and everything down in there, and declare it like I did the other one. It's just all going to be 3 separate growing bed areas. I'm going to clear out all them weeds. I've gotten a good start on that with the cinder blocks. I want to do all that too. It's close to the next season, growing season, and I went out back and looked, and none of the weeds or anything that was there before seems to be growing back up. I think I did a pretty good job of digging up all of it and killing it off. Here's another pile that I found. This is whenever I was working on the garden, doing all the stuff in the yard, cleaning out the totes when I was moving the dirt from back in the back up to the totes. I took the dirt that I had in those holes and I put them in the totes. I'd put a layer of dirt, then I'd take cardboard boxes, open them up and flatten them out. And then the leftover cantaloupe that I had that was compost, I'd put over that in a layer. Then I'd cover it with cardboard, put dirt, and then I would do cantaloupe, and, you know, just layer it all the way up. And as I did, I would clean the dirt out as I went. And that's basically, this is the stuff that I pulled out of there. I found balls of rust. I mean, just rust. This stuff had been in the dirt so long it turned into a solid ball. Well, you know, that's some of the stuff I did, and I've still got more plans. I'm going to do pretty much the entire backyard. I'm going to go through and clean up and do exactly what I'm doing there. It's a lot harder than I thought it was, and I've got to really back up my pace and realize that it's going to take longer than I thought it would. But I'm not going to give up on it. I'm going to keep doing it, you know. So, like I said, that area that I just showed you, that was a mess. And getting it cleared out like I did, I mean, that was a big accomplishment. So, last year, I was talking about how I want to revitalize the yard, and I've mentioned it a couple times in a few of the videos this year. But the reason why I started all this was so that I could go through and work on some of the yard period and dig up the ground and get in there and clean up some of the soil, because when we moved in it was pretty messed up. And this is some of the video that I wanted to share with you of how I've been doing with my compost pile. Last year I started to compost. I dug up about maybe a 2-foot hole, put clay bricks in this corner area of an old building where the foundation was still there. You can see it in the video. I took and I made basically a squared off area with clay blocks and cinder blocks, and then I put tree branches and things like that down and made it into a compost pile. And what my plan is eventually is I'm going to take and make a grow beds with it. I'm going to put compost down at the bottom, put a layer of cardboard over the top of it, and then put topsoil on top, and then put plastic over it, and grow in those grow boxes, or those grow beds. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start my video. This is the beginning of this year. I ended up moving it from where the grow bed is right there on the right hand side to right next to it. I haven't covered it up yet. I went through and I leveled it all down. I put cardboard down, which was boxes and a couple of soda boxes, and then I took dirt and put it over the top of that. This part up front was a little part that I had there too, that's the composting, and I broke down. And then I took cinder blocks and made it go around it. I dug the hole out next to it. This is after it was all done. I put the plastic around it, and I'm still going to get a little front there too. I cleared away that area. I'm going to make maybe a pumpkin patch or some blueberries growing around there. And I finally got the compost pile covered, and it's not perfectly covered, but I've got it covered. And right now I'm trying to grow peaches in that grow bed. I have some peach seeds down in there. One thing I can tell you, I'm not going to be able to grow anything like vegetables or anything, because we got massive squirrels back there. They get up in those trees and start knocking down those walnuts, just dropping them down on top of it. And I know it looks dirty there, but that's actually good for compost. Wintertime was getting ready to come in, and I just let all that stuff lay because it helps keep everything warm in that area. So instead of trying to clean it up, I just left it there, made sure everything else was cleaned up on top of it. And you can see my little structure here, where you could have where I want to do blueberries maybe. And that's the guttering. I pulled that out from beside the shed. I'm going to do something with that next year. All of that compost is eventually going to be laying out. And all this area right here is going to end up being a garden. I'm going to try to do these, get them opened up and have more grow boxes for this year like I had the other two. I've got more video of that too, but I've got to get through everything and start taking pictures of it and showing it. And I will have that video available, but I'm going through my videos now and catching up. So if you thanks for watching. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, share, make comments, give some feedback, some advice. And like I said in all my videos, if you have any helpful advice, feel free to give it, because I definitely do need help in recognizing, plant types, things like that. I'm pretty much, all I'm basically doing is I'm getting my hands dirty, getting out there and actually doing it and learning from it as I go. So if you guys have any tips, any advice, feel free to give it to me.